Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to today's stream. We are looking at the new HST farewell pack by Liam, who brought us the Great Western Express remaster, who played his part in the East Coastway remaster, I think more specifically within the timetable. So he's got a decent track record. We have with it 3 scenarios on the Riviera line route, which are Dawn by Dawlish, Riviera Rescue, and Epilogue, which, as you can see, I'm yet to do. And then over on the Great Western Express, we've got another 3 scenarios: Back in Blue, Open Day, and Farewell. In terms of timetable, I believe all it does on the Riviera line is sub in. So it still does the regular services that the HSTs do. But you get the liveries sub in, basically. So yeah, get a bunch of services. I will probably be doing over on the Great Western Express. Is it the same thing? Where's this timetable from? What's this timetable? Oh, this is the base default timetable, right? Yeah, I believe it's the same thing on here as well. It would just sub in for the regular. Yeah, just subs in for the regular services. I don't know if it does by default though. I don't know if AI do it because of the time period. Would that make sense? 2017. I think it would. I'm 100% sure on here, but I know for a fact on the Riviera line, they just tend to sub in. I think what I'm gonna do first, because I haven't actually done it, I'm going to record the Riviera line scenario that I haven't done yet, Epilogue, and see what it's about. It's only a short one. 3 HST sets have arrived at Plymouth to mark the end of GWR's HST services. I believe we'll see how it plays out. I think I know the contents of this one. But we'll let it play out. I do love these like intros, like cinematic intros for the scenarios. All of them should have that. Evening and welcome to Plymouth Station. Today is the 13th of December 2025 and it's the last day GWR will run our scheduled high-speed train passenger service. 3 HST sets have arrived at Plymouth Station to mark the occasion. Head on over to platform 4 and take control of power car 43093. This will be the final HST to depart out of the 3. That is very cool. Plenty of objective marker there, so we know where we're going. Graphically, yeah, I'll be honest, this game looks absolutely stunning with the mods that we've got. I'll speed this up a little bit. Absolutely love these liveries, man. There's not many of these type of packs that I would say is worth the asking price. This is one of them. Get the light on here as well. Asking you to unlock. I can hear one of the other HSTs departing. Got a Voyager coming in as well. All 3 trains will sound their horn as a way to say goodbye. On your mark, sound the horn a few times and the rest will follow your lead. Okay, I don't know what pattern we're gonna sound our horn in though, because I usually do my low high. Okay, nicely done. It's now time for the 3 trains to make their way to Leira Depot. Yours will be the last one to leave. No problem at all, boss. Oh, hello. Wait, don't tell me they just... All the other ones have just... Okay, they're still there. I'm no longer in control of my train. Okay? I'll just sit here and watch. Interesting way of doing things. Okay, why are these black screens though? Oh, I don't like this. I don't like these. Why not just have the time, let one depart, a few minutes later, let the signal clear, let the other train depart. Why are we fading in and out and rushing things and kind of taking away from the whole event? Oh, I really don't like that. You're not clear to proceed. I really don't like that, man. I was okay with the other scenarios. I thought they were pretty cool. I don't like that at all. That felt really, ugh. Felt rushed. I feel like it's rushed me. I forgot what I was like wanting to do. Ah. That was interesting. Anyway, I think we're good to depart now. Put her in notch 3. Sound the horn one more time, I think. Final train to ever depart on a scheduled service. Scheduled high-speed service, that is. Into the darkness we go. I think what we'll do is start with a run on the Great Western Express, do a full run there, do a full run on, like, do one run on GWE, one run over here, and sort of just keep going back and forth until the stream ends, I guess. Start picking up speed, but not too much, as we are going to need to slow down right down to 15 in less than a mile. Although we could actually get up to 55 and then slow down. Got a red coming up, but I'm going to assume it's an approach control. Gonna try not to get done by TPWS. Transport Legend, how you doing, mate? Good to see ya. How you doing? Hope we've had a great day. Hope you're having a good evening. Any opinions on this particular DLC? There we go. as expected. You know what? With the 1.2% downhill gradient, I'm just going to let it coast and then just manage the brakes. Spotted a Voyager at the depot. I saw my first Voyager on Friday. My first ever time physically seeing a Voyager in reality. It was at Reading. I was at Reading Station Friday morning. I also saw a 166 for the first time. I saw that at Reading, but I also saw a couple on the way to Reading as well. So my first time seeing that in real life as well. That was pretty cool. Loved the smell of the diesel from the Voyager, I will say. I also saw a GWR 387, which is coming to the game at some point, hopefully soon, for the first time. So yeah, it was a pretty cool, like a pretty cool trip. Doing well, that's good to hear as always. Love that. Haven't bought it yet. If I do get it, which I'll probably be on a sale, goes on express sale. I don't even have that route. No way. That is crazy. What? That is crazy, bro. Wow. I'm gonna. Oh, you know what? Shunting light. You know what? I don't need to press the TPWS override, do I? Like, we got a shunting signal. We should be okay. I only need to press that if I've got like a solid red, and I'm going past it. That's crazy, bro. Surely it's been on sale since the remaster, right? How am I enjoying it? You know, it's not often that I'll say these packs are worth the money, like the default asking price without a sale. I truly believe this one is. I feel like the deliveries have been done really well. The scenarios have been carefully crafted and actually feel like scenarios. This is my first disappointing one. In all honesty, the scenario itself is very cool, but the way it's been like implemented has been like just man, really disappointing. Aside from that, though, yeah, I feel like it's been really cool, man. It's like it's a cute little pack. It's like, it has meaning, right? It's not just like some scenarios put together randomly or for the sake of it. It actually has some meaning, and it's not going to be for everyone. You know, it caters to a very specific type of audience, so those who love the HSTs and those who, you know, the HSTs were very dear to, or maybe those who are very big on like railway events, because this executes that very well virtually. And I think for everyone else, either wait for a sale, or even if, you know, it's not something that everybody needs to pick up. It's not. It's very specifically catered, if that makes sense. But yeah, some really nice details, man. Some really nice details in some of these scenarios. And you know, I'm very critical when it comes to scenarios in the game, so I know what I'm comparing. What I'm comparing these two. Some disappointing things. I mean, I say some disappointing things. The biggest one was that an issue from like TSW2 or TSW3 is back, where if you leave the safety system. So right now we're going to switch over to the other side, I believe. If I leave this DSD and AWS on, and I go to the other cab, they will cause a SPAD. Not a SPAD, sorry. They will cause like an emergency brake application, basically. which again hasn't been a thing since like TSW2 or TSW3. So I was really disappointed to see that come back. Really disappointed because it wasted like an hour of mine, I think, in one of the scenarios, and then caused some issues in another one, but I was able to come out of that one pretty quickly. But honestly, that's been my biggest issue with it. That's been my biggest issue with it, which I think speaks, which I think speaks for itself ultimately. I was Big Adnan was indeed in Reading. The little ones are doing fine, thank you. They're doing well, growing quickly, making a lot of noise. Just the usual baby stuff, you know. 9.99 a few weeks ago, spent on one of them all. But you know what? That's not even a bad investment, bro. I think I will be going back to that either next week or the week after. I was talking about this the other day. I don't know if you were here, but my ideal schedule on a week-to-week basis, you know, if there are no DLC releases on any of the games that I'm playing, saying that ETS2 beta has come out, oh, there's so many things going on, like constantly. My ideal schedule would be 2 days of Train Sim World, so Monday and Tuesday, ideally, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday would be Le Mans Ultimate Sim Racing, believe it or not. That would be my idea. Like, I really want to go back to sim racing, and I want to go back to it quite hard, while still keeping Train Sim on the channel and TSW specifically. But man, like Subway Sim 2. Subway Sim 2. I've got the Aculog DLC, but I've barely touched it. So I wanted to do a stream for that. Simrail with its Impulse DLC and Vodge Junction DLC that came out a month and a half ago. I've only just been able to finally try that this week. Train Sim Classic, there's a U-Bahn line that I want to try. That's come out like 3-4 weeks ago. Haven't gotten around to playing that yet. Like, so much stuff that I want to try and play that I just can't do what I want to do, like what my base is. The view here, by the way, is beautiful in the distance. Yeah, gorgeous. So yeah, and now, like I said, ETS2 open beta is out. That's got the Benelux rework, so I'll probably be playing that next week, maybe Monday. Maybe Train Sim Classic, or this. I'm just randomly like scheduling in my head as like an example. Monday could be ETS2 because of the open beta. Tuesday could be either Subway Sim 2 or Train Sim Classic with the DLCs that I haven't played yet. Whichever one I don't do next week, I could do the week after, or I could just do it on Wednesday. No, Wednesday there won't be a stream on Wednesday. Or I could stream on Wednesday, but it would be earlier in the day. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with my Wednesdays, because my evenings are now going to be permanently occupied going forward. So either I'm just not going to be streaming on Wednesday, or I stream earlier in the day, which I probably will do, because I would still like to stream that day. And yeah, then my 2 days of TSW would just be Thursday and Friday. So next week is going to be another week that I'm just not going to get any game time with LMU. It's mad. It's so mad. Ridiculous. Don't like spending too much on Steam and that priorities and stuff. Yeah, you know what? Smart, bro. Honestly, be smart with your money. Be smart with your money so that even if you're disappointed with a particular bit of DLC, which happens a lot in TSW. Let's be real. Then you're not like let's be real. You'll be a lot more angry if you spent some important money, which you shouldn't do anyway. You shouldn't be spending important or priority money on DLC. But let's say you do. You're going to be a lot more upset than if you just threw some spare change at it. So, yeah, it's always smart to prioritize, man. Always smart. Derail Valley, it wasn't for me, man. I enjoyed it a little bit. I had a decent time with it. Played it in VR, played it in not VR. It was cool. Just not for me, man. I think you need a lot of spare time to really enjoy Derail Valley and get like its intended value out of it. Well, the safety system cab thing bug, it was resolved. It was resolved. Like, I haven't had to. Honestly, sometimes, because I'm so scarred by it, I still turn the safety systems off on one side of the train before I go to the other when I'm swapping in like a scenario or something. But like 8 times out of 10, I just leave it how it is because they had fixed it. But now it's come back. So now I'm just gonna always do it because I can't trust that bug is truly gone. I just can't trust that, which is a deep shame. A deep, deep, deep shame. And it's funny because Matt said this like years ago. Okay, maybe 2 years ago, but it's still more than 1 year ago. Said that they had that checklist. Hello, they had that checklist. How have we crashed going back to the main menu? They had that checklist that all DLCs were like meant to follow, and maybe that was for what's it? I got distracted by that. Maybe that was just for DTG content, but even just for DTG content, a lot of things that were meant to be on that checklist, their DLCs have come out without that kind of like check being done. And it should be for all DLCs regardless. It should be part of the QA process. And I'm pretty certain something like that would have been there. Not even looks in the direction that I clocked DLC. Anything with Subway Sim 2 is a buggy mess usually. I don't know. I guess going on the Steam page, the Steam store page for that DLC and seeing the reviews would probably be telling of what the situation is with that DLC. I'm not aware of any like real problems with it. In all honesty, like 10 stuff being a 0 to 3 month category. But see, here's the thing. It's sensible for you to save your money based on like 10 things being on the 0 to 3 months category, but who knows how much of the stuff in the 0 to 3 months category is going to release in 0 to 3 months, so that you could end up staying away from buying something, saving money for one of those things, and then that thing 7 months later still hasn't come out. The Just Train's upcoming route that was put in the 0 to 3 month category on the November roadmap, I think, in November 2025, if I'm not mistaken. So, and it's not the only one that suffered a similar fate. Oh, mate. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, even to try and logically figure out the answer to that, I can't. How do bugs manage to regen? I don't know. I can't possibly tell you. Only thing I can say is that it goes back to my point of the core being so rotten that something like this can just happen. Like, clearly things are never fixed properly. There's a plaster that's put. It's like bugs in this game are like stab wounds. Every bug is like a stab wound, and it's had a plaster applied. It's like they apply plasters onto stab wounds. So the problem really never actually resolves itself. You just cover it up a little bit. So something will come down later down the line, the equivalent of a fall or a bruise or whatever, and it reveals the wound again because it was never stitched up properly. Just a shame, man. Just a shame. Okay. Cool. So let's just do some timetable services then. This update has broken the first Great Western branding mod, which sucks. So all the first Great Western trains are just like basic blue. Just trying to see what scenarios I haven't done. It's just Diesel Legends of Great Western that I haven't done. Interesting. I've never done anything from that pack. I think I did like 1 or 2 timetable runs. That was it. Crazy. Tilda may probably be delayed until TSW 8. I think that pack will come in TSW 7, if anything. That's like my flying around. That's my like assumption, my speculation is that it will come then. I want to do this one. Or the dragon on the sides. I actually haven't done that one at all. At all. Right, what time should we do? Should we do like a realistic time? Oh yeah, I can turn on my real weather mods now. And I guess also third rails. Yes, you can be minimized. Let's get third rails going as well. I'll be fine if TSW 7 being a new game solely for a new core. Haha. Don't know TSW because the cores are quite. Yeah. Let's be real, man. Let's be real. Just as a disclaimer, I don't actually know whether there's going to be a TSW 7 and whether it's going to be the exact same game again. But just using logic, just using some logic, you know, it's probably going to be exactly that. It's probably going to be exactly that. Got some Subway cookies. Raspberry chocolate. Absolutely beautiful. They tried to take them away. And they knew they had to bring them back. These were Legends of the Great and Western Holidays. Yeah. I mean, when like DCG themselves will say, you know, yeah, it wasn't the greatest pack we ever did. You know it was quite something. You know, Greg's, bro, listen. No, I'll be honest, mate. No one does cookies like Subway. I would like to think I've had Greg's cookies before. I'm trying to remember if I actually have, or if I'm just making that up. Also, Geraint Thomas, winner of the Tour de France. Oh wait, there is a branding here. Okay, it was just missing from the scenarios. Interesting. Ah, so it does work. Cool. Anyway, why does this fella get a whole like livery dedicated to him? Quite a cool one as well, actually. It's like it's actually 3D. I thought it was painted with like a 3D effect. No, it's actually like 3D. Well, why don't all the other Tour de France winners get their own thing? What makes this guy so special? Oh, it was really cool being here, man. Really, really cool. I guess I can quickly take a little detour and have a little gander around the station. Should I see how accurate the outside is? Okay, so I came out here. Let's see how accurate this is. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's not too much to model. Oh, but this is wrong. There's no car park here. It's a road. It's like a road that comes down and it turns around and goes back. So that's bollocks. This is a bit too high. Okay, anyway. This is definitely a side mission that I'm on. Let's lock back in. Also, this is a route that was created back in like TSW 2020. No, 2? No, 2020. TSW 2020. This route came. So I won't be too judgmental of accuracies or the lack thereof. I often think when it comes to the topic of HSTs about how they used to operate from Paddington. But it was before I really got into trains like that. And so they were practically within, like, in terms of central London, Paddington is slightly skewed from central London, but I still regard it as central. It's half an hour from anywhere in London. So at any given moment, HSCs were half an hour away from me. And I think it would have been such a cool experience to just watch them depart with like the sound that they make and the smell. Like Paddington would have been an incredible experience for me while the HSCs were still running. But I just wasn't into trains back then. I just had no idea. Like, I don't know. Like, I just didn't appreciate them. Like, I didn't care that they existed. I didn't care that they were in operation. I had no idea they were being taken out of operation. And if I had just gotten into like TSW maybe a couple years earlier, maybe I could have caught one of the last ones. Jet Wash Mondays actually. Listen, mate. The Riviera line scenario that I just did prior to this, I think it was Plymouth Station that we were at. Just looked gorgeous at night, man. The lighting, the textures, it just looks gorgeous. And I'm not even using the highest one. I'm just using high. So you've got Ultra and you've got Beast after that. I want a 5090 card just to be able to enjoy Beast mode, you know, at a smooth frame rate. Because I've tried it, I've given it a go. Can't say it was a great experience. According to DTG, everything they do is spectacular. They do like to toot their own horns a bit too much sometimes. I understand marketing and, you know, you do what you got to do as a business, right? But I think morals are as important. Oh yeah, Metro Rivals has been cancelled, just like that. I'm not too sure what to think of that. On the one hand, I think it would have been cool to try it out, and although I kind of have already, I think it would have been cool to try it out, see kind of where, see where that would have went. On the other hand, you would think that it would save resources and costs to be more focused on TSW. It's an interesting decision that was made, and an interesting one for it to be made as late as it was. Although I think the writing was on the wall. With regards to that, there has been no real update in like months about that game. They haven't really spoken about it. I think it appeared on the roadmap recently, but there's been no real like push for it, no gameplay video, nothing. So whether something had happened months ago that kind of stops development, whether it truly is a recent thing, who knows, man. But yeah, I think looking back in hindsight, I think the signs were there, man. TSW is in dire need for the Great Eastern Main Line with the 745s and 90s, or either in the areas of the further service. I've seen like talk of that on the forums quite a lot. I personally, I don't know. I don't have much knowledge of that line, so what exactly it brings, I don't know. From my small experience with it in Train Sim Classic, I think it would be cool to bring into the game. It's an area of London. I know people are sick and tired of London being in the game at this point, but it's an area of London that just hasn't been looked at all. And if done well, it's got the potential to be a banger of a DLC. So, I'd want to see it in the game. I would want to see it in the game as long as it's done properly. I wouldn't want no half-hearted attempts. .97 TXT and my first one, so theoretically my dream one. You know what? Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. Dream card doesn't even have to be like top end. Like I've got a 3080 Ti, and that was my dream card, my dream graphics card. I actually had a list way before this entire system. When I had my previous one, I had written a list of the parts that I wanted for my dream PC at the time, and it involved basically it was exactly what I've got in my PC right now in terms of the CPU, the memory. Forget the memory, I've actually went even harder with the memory. I only wanted 16 gigabytes, I've got 32 in there. So memory, I've overdone what I wanted. CPU, the one I wanted is there, liquid cooled, it's there, and the graphics card, the 3080 Ti. Like it wasn't the highest one at the time, the 3090 was, and I just wish I went for it, man. Story with that is that, so I don't see it anymore on Amazon. I think they've done away with it, which I'm not really surprised about. But on Amazon, you could buy like almost anything that's at a high price and pay monthly for it. Like not finance, but it's like their own just pay monthly system. And so I saw the 3080 Ti, the card that I really wanted. I wanted that specific card. After all the shortages and the scalping and everything, like the fact that I could just get my hands on this card was just amazing. And then I saw a 3090, and monthly the 3090 was only £20 more a month, and I could fit that. I could afford that. I just thought to myself, man, the 3080 Ti was the one that I wanted. I don't need the 3090. I don't need to go harder and unnecessarily spend that extra 20 quid. Let me just settle for a 3080 Ti. And then that's what I did. But the gap between a 3080 Ti and a 3090 is actually substantial enough. It's not just like a small change. Like, it's actually fairly substantial. And if I could make that choice again, I would absolutely, most certainly go for a 3090. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. I think a 3090 had 24 gigabytes of RAM. 3080 only has 12. That was one of the big differences. Yeah. It got completely cancelled, man. Completely cancelled. They put out an announcement yesterday. More focus on TSW now. I'm probably still gonna be able to fix a brand new floating Mario Worlds. Brand new? That thing has been going on for at least like 2 years at this point. I cannot, but like, bro, the thing is about that is that every time I clocked it, I was doing nothing but just driving the train. Do you get it? Meaning, if somebody had driven in clear weather in the game and just gone from A to B, which you would expect, you would hope, at the very least, that's what they're doing in testing, that would have been seen. Just driving from A to B and then doing another on, you know, B to A. The most basic form of testing you can do for a route. They would have seen it. And I have that same concern when it comes to scenarios as well. Like, for example, on the Czech route, there's 2 scenarios that you can't finish. Bro, just run the route yourselves. Just try it. Just try the routes yourself. As a form of testing. You don't need to do it. I don't know, you don't need to go so hard. You know, sometimes with testing, you need to like look at the nitty gritty and try some like things that normally players wouldn't try and as part of the bug fixing process and bug finding process. But something like a scenario you can't finish, you just needed to try it. And you would have realized, oh, there's an issue here. You can't complete this scenario. It's crazy. Like, you cannot tell me that these DLCs are thoroughly tested. You cannot. I mean, you can, feel free, but the proof is in the pudding. Tell me all you like, but I can see from the DLC that that's not the case. That the most basic form of testing wasn't done. You know what? I don't remember whether it was a B520M or something else. I don't think it was a 520M because those are mobile. Those are like smaller motherboards, right? I think I wanted a full size one. But I can't say for sure. I don't fully remember. The 750 watt PSU though may have been there. That's actually quite a scary that's quite scarily accurate, if I'm being completely honest with you. Actually, no. The CPU is a Ryzen 7 5800 X3D. That's what I've got. I really wanted an X3D CPU. Between that and the Ryzen 9 something X3D of its time, that was actually a big price gap. It wasn't like the GPU situation. So I never, you know, look at that decision with regret. As a matter of fact, the CPU has served me absolutely incredibly. Oh, listen, I don't need the only thing I could upgrade if it came to it is my GPU to a 5090. That's it. That's the only upgrade I could imagine. I don't need, and even that is pushing it. It's not a necessity at all, but it would allow a better experience for me in my games because I play at 4K, and because I like to max out my settings like balls to the wall. It would actually make sense. It would actually be a sensible decision for me to make. However, to already own a 3080 Ti and spend what I would spend on a 5090, that doesn't make too much sense. So, yeah. I mean, like it's on, like getting a new GPU is on my. It's something that's on my radar. Like if it was to, if I was to come up with some extra money, substantially, substantial amount of money, then I would look at. Now that I've sorted out a car, I would actually start looking at a GPU. I think because that would then mean I could put my 3080 Ti into my streaming PC, which would then enable me to stream so much better, at much better quality. But everything's okay for now. Like everything that needs to be done is being done. So yeah, it's a really quiet day on stream today. No one has, like, there's been no one on Twitch. It's very interesting. We do have these odd days sometimes. X3D is incredible, man. X3D is incredible. Yeah, 32.99 will become the norm. Yeah, bro, prices are going up. Remember, in the TSW2 era, a Root DLC, all of them were tops $24.99, maximum $24.99. The like basic ones that were a bit kind of dry, like Glossoplane, for example, if I remember correctly, were $19.99. Then you have the gameplay packs for $4.99, and we've been slow cooked, so now paying 30 quid as a minimum for a Root, and that will only at $32.99 will become the norm, at least during TSW7, if not before that. Difference is like 150 FPS on average. What, between the 3080 Ti and the 5090? I wouldn't even be surprised, mate. And it's not only the raw power of the 5090 that puts it so far ahead of the 3080, but also like the tech as well, like on the DLSS side. Like for example, there's something called it's like something smoothing, I think. And it basically just like if you got like stuttery gameplay or whatever, it just makes everything look really smooth. But it's only available for I think 40 series cards and up. Like certain levels of DLSS are only available for certain GPU card. Like 3080, the 30 series in general is now it's old news now when it comes to Nvidia and their software tech. Doesn't make it any less powerful though. Doesn't make it any less powerful at all. You know what? I know the 9070 XT is solid, but I'll be honest, man. Nvidia is my go-to for GPUs. I like ultimately, I think the 5090 is better than the 9070 XT, but the 9070 XT is not far off the 5090. So like, it definitely would be sensible to get that over 5090. But considering the 5090 is, I think, a bit more powerful, and I'm not someone who buys a new GPU every year as well. So I think it wouldn't be a silly idea that when I finally do buy a GPU, it's like the highest spec one. 3080 Ti is now going, what is it, 4 years now going strong? I think it's 4 years, yeah. 4 years old. Like now would actually be a good time to replace it. Integrated graphics. Let's not go back to that, man. I'd rather not think about that. You know what? Back in the day, AMD used to have a cool one. AMD actually used to have an integrated graphics you could game on. It was their A10 something chip. if you had like decent memory, you could get a decent game. You could have a decent gaming experience without a GPU. Obviously, didn't compare to an actual GPU, but you could definitely have some fun with it. Oh, the normal CPU is the X3D. Yeah. Again, that wouldn't surprise me either. Nvidia fanboy. I mean, you know what? If I was actually ready to part with some money for a new GPU, I would do my research. I would compare the highest spec AMD to the highest spec Nvidia card, and then make a decision based off that. But to my understanding, the 5090 is the king of GPUs right now. So yeah, it is what it is. You know, if one's better than the other, it is what it is. Like when I got my S23 Ultra, my Samsung, I wanted to get an iPhone for the first time in my life. I actually wanted to get an iPhone. But that generation, this Samsung was just a better phone. Like I did my research. I did quite a bit of research. And the Samsung that year it was just better. It had more horsepower than the iPhone of that year. And so as much as I wanted an Apple, it would have been just silly to willingly buy a worse phone. It just wouldn't have made any sense. Hello, Mr. Dan. What's wrong with my modbot? £9070 XT like £700. Yeah, but bro, are you talking new? Surely you're not talking new, right? I wasn't paying attention. I'm gonna spad. I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't paying attention. God damn it. I wasn't paying attention at all. What a waste. Bro, I can't select any of the other options. I saved the game after we went past that. I don't know if I can like do the trick. Well, how was it last time, Dan, booking it? Did you encounter the same issues? Well, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Nvidia stopped making anything for gamers transport, because the money they're making from AI and how much they've invested there, how hard they've gone in that direction, is all very telling that AI is their future. Although I think they recently like made a statement pledging to continue making stuff for gamers, so I guess we'll just see. You have to wait and see. Hello ASR, how you doing? Welcome. You know what? I have an excuse. I was looking at chat. I have an excuse. I like, especially when I'm just talking. What's happening? Whatever is happening on screen and with me. They need to change this now. Whatever's happening on screen and me playing is just autopilot. Like I'm engaged in the conversation, but whatever's going on there is just like the equivalent of like a Subway Surfers video at the bottom of the screen. Well, yeah, Dan, but it's still you planning it and taking the brunt of the frustration, isn't it? I don't know if this is going to load or not. I want to give it a chance. But I don't think it will. I think with a 5090, if I wanted to, I could go back to streaming off my gaming PC. But then that would just render my streaming one useless. So far you're at the 2K mark. What's the what's the budget that you've got to work with? Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to force close this and just call an L an L. Whoa. It's interesting that there's no emergency brake on the HST, unless I've missed it, or unless it's like completely separate from the brake. Usually it's just another step on the brake. But there have been a couple instances where I've needed the emergency brake, and it just hasn't been there. Yeah. I mean, I've got autosave off transport, but even if I didn't, there is nowhere, because usually it would autosave at stage, like whenever the instruction changes, that I think that would be an autosave point. There would have been nowhere there to autosave. Either way, you were cooked. We're allowed 50 for food a day. Is that it? I feel like that's not much. Am I in need of a couple buses, Nabil? Hello. Not really. No. But I mean, if you've got some to give away, please do so. Let's have a gander. Where have you found yourself at another scrap? Right, I need to translate this. Oh, mad. All of those are just... They're just there for the taking. Wow. They look like they're in pretty good condition as well. Bro, get a truck out there. Get a truck out there. Load them up. And get out. That's so wild, man. That's so wild. Was there a reason again? I don't remember. For why they went just transferred over to the new ownership. I mean, Dan, that's one way to vent frustration. I don't know how successful it would have been. Would have been interesting to try. Some have already collected spare parts from them. Oh, the new owner went back. Oh, right. Okay, it was a new owner. Right. So that's it. I guess they do serve as a good base for spare parts. That's not a bad shout at all. Oh, as much as they might deserve it, Dan. It would probably land you in a pretty bad spot with HR. I mean, the first one also probably would, but at least you're not causing harm to someone else, you know? No chance of getting sued. Another company collected the more valuable ones, you know, at Daimler and MAN for refurbishment. That's crazy. Because surely those could be refurbed as well. The whole situation is mad. The whole situation. You don't like HR, so HR can get it as well. Basically, everyone just swing your arms, and wherever the fists land, it is what it is. And Bill, you said, was he the one that he flew away somewhere? He ran away, the old owner, or am I making that up? Like he fled? Yeah. I shouldn't be laughing. That's wild, man. Very, very wild. The one I saw at Reading was absolutely filthy. I mean, all trains are absolutely filthy. It would be so cool if the trains in the game had like realistic weathering. We don't see those mods anymore. There used to be, if I remember correctly, regular mods releasing that cause like a weathering effect on all the trains. Deep breaths, Dan. Deep breaths. In. Out. Rinse and repeat. Hey, on the flip side, at least there's no one to annoy you. Being in a customer service role by yourself for 4 days is actually kind of insane. How does that even happen? You're not going to die. I think that would be a good shout. The least you can do is have one day off after working 4 days by yourself, basically carrying the load of what's it? How much are there regularly of you? How many of you are there regularly? 5. After carrying the weight of 5 or 6 people alone, I think it's more than reasonable to have a day off. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't even need to ask. It should just be given to you. So much light leak, man. It is cool having suspension active on the HST. It's quite noticeable leaving Paddington. Just like that, decision made. Makes me think, you know, is it worth making the videos that I make, where I give an insight with details? But those type of people usually want an excuse, you know? They want it, but they can't justify spending the money on it themselves. So they need another voice just to give them a bit of a push. Well, realistically, you know what? I was going to say, realistically, someone could just skip to the end of the video, but I don't really do that. I don't really like say, well, so then, is it worth it? Yes or no? I kind of discuss it throughout the video. Dan? I get the sense you may be starting to kind of like lose it a little bit. But remember, deep breaths. Deep breaths. Hello, Safi. How to train? Oh, what do you mean exactly? What are you trying to ask? Are you asking how's the train? Are you trying to ask how to drive the train? I hope I can hear the safety systems from outside. I've not actually tested that. Someone pointed out on the forums that the TSRs in the UK are always 40 miles an hour. I don't know if it's the same with Germany, and it always being 70, I think. 70 kilometers. As usual, poor implementation of a core feature. It's never really done in detail. We didn't even have the proper signage. I don't think it's difficult to have signage, especially for creating the asset from new. What? So I got done by TPWS for what? That's something that happens, I've noticed as well with these trains. I'll just get a random TPWS application. And it will take ages to get out of it. There isn't like an emergency brake button on this train, is there? It's just full service and that's it. that time the hissing stops quite quickly. I've had that hissing go on for over 2 minutes straight, non-stop for 2 minutes. And I've had just the light stay on for like 2-3 minutes as well. It seems to just be quite random as well. Although the sounds that took place when the alert started were a bit odd. It sounded like there was so much going on. Maybe it just caused the train to, I don't know, get confused. Hello, Isle of Wight. How you doing? How am I finding it? Overall, really good. There are definitely some issues with it. One that we literally just experienced, where we get random TPWS activations, and even the TPWS activation is really strange in the way it works. It seems like it's a bit of a bug. There's another one where if you leave the safety systems on one end of the train and go to drive the other end of the train, the side that you've left the safety systems on can trigger an emergency brake. That's a bug from like TSW 2 or 3. One of the scenarios I was really disappointed in. The rest of them I feel like are really good. Liveries look like they're done to a really high quality. Like overall, you know, dare I say, I think it's worth $12.99 in all honesty. Like I do think you get your money's worth, but it would be nice to see the little niggles sorted out. Apart from the barrier coaches acting weird and livery editor can't couple to it for it. Yeah, I saw someone say you can't like do anything with the with them in formation designer or livery designer, was it one of them? I don't really mess around with all of that, so can't confirm or deny, but there's definitely something going on there. But it did get picked up by Harry, so we'll see if anything will be done. Yeah, the TPWS thing has happened to me 3 times so far. In the time that I've spent recording all the scenarios and doing 2 timetable runs, this being the second one, it's happened to me 3 times. And it won't even be like, it won't even be you crossing like a TPWS magnet, or even necessarily going fast. Like it would be quite hard to, if I was to try and fix this bug and try and find out why it happened, I can imagine it being very difficult to do so, because it seems to happen without any particular reason or trigger. I had to redo a particular scenario And the first time I done it, I got tripped up by the bug. When I redid the scenario the second time around, I got through that section completely fine. How do you even begin to figure that one out? There have been a few bugs of that nature in recent times. The Expert 145 had similar in its scenarios, where you would do a scenario, it could work perfectly fine. You rerun that same scenario, and you could bump into some very strange issues, and vice versa as well. You can do a scenario and it be just completely bugged to hell. You're getting routed the wrong way, wrong instructions, instruction not showing up, and then you can restart it and it worked completely fine. I shouldn't be too surprised though, because the core of the game is rotten and it keeps being built on more and more and more and more and more. So I'm not surprised we're seeing the type of bugs develop, because you can't even, the struggle is to sort out even the basic ones, and the ones that have been in the game for a while. Can't even get them ones sorted. So of course they're going to end up spiraling. Those ones are going to be even more difficult to take care of, and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Hello Mark, how you doing mate? One thing I don't like about the HST farewell pack, there's no sander on it. There's no sander on it. Interesting, you're right. Now I'm pretty sure, let's look for a sander button. Did this train just not have one? These are unusable. That's the buzzer, that's for engine, that's for wheel. Okay, there's a wheel slip indicator, but it doesn't seem to be anything to do for that. So if you have wheel slip, you just kind of deal with it. Oh, there's the emergency brake, silly me. I was expecting like a big red button. Yeah, no, I can't see anything, Mark. That would be for sanding. I don't know what the rules and regulations were for trains of this era. Also, here's the livery. Could trains be allowed to operate without sanding equipment? I guess so. In all honesty, mate, I think that might be the case, seeing as I can't see a sanding pipe. It just doesn't have one. Just doesn't have one. Metro Rivals has been cancelled. Did you? Yep. You're not surprised? Why are you not surprised, Isle of Wight? I was talking about it earlier and saying, I think the writing was on the wall. Looking at it with hindsight, there was no like gameplay footage. But by now, from the announcement and that big long video that they did, you would have thought, you know, some footage would have started to crawl out the woodwork. Maybe some pictures, some teasers. There's been none of that. No real articles, no real news about it. So I think looking back, the clues were there. I was saying there's two sides to it. On the one, if it means, or well, hopefully it means more hands on deck for TSW. And more resource and investment in that direction. It is also an interesting time. You think that if there is going to be a TSW 7, this would be the time that they're going hard at it. So the timing's interesting. But yeah, on the one hand, it frees up people, resources, finances for TSW potentially. It's not guaranteed. But then on the other hand, I think it would have been cool to try. In all honesty, I don't think it was going to go very far. I think it would have been released, there would have been talk and excitement for it for about 3 weeks, and then no one would have spoken about it again. And you would have had 10 players a day playing it, if even that. But I think regardless, it would have been cool to kind of see it through, give it a proper try. I don't think anyone's upset about it, though, in all honesty. Gone and forgotten, like TSW VR, yep. Yep. I don't know exactly what their plans were for that. But surely it wasn't just to release it with one route and call it a day. And that's why I think they should have invested into adding it into TSW instead of making it its own game. Like, it was a cute idea they had to have the point system and yeah, friends versus friends. First and foremost, not everybody owns a VR headset. So that was already not really in line with reality. Secondly, it just sounded more of like a reason that somebody would push for it in a meeting as an idea than a real thing. No one's going to play TSW in VR to set a better score against their friends. Many people in the forum said they'd bitten off more than they can chew, which I agree with them. It wouldn't have had many players, no. Haven't given it a go myself. I can tell you, well, I believe it wouldn't have had many players. Hence why I'm not really, like, I'm not super disappointed, not super upset about it in any way, shape or form. It's probably for the better, considering there would have been an investment in keeping the services up, like online, because that was going to be like the focus. I just hope that whatever they've learned from working on Unreal Engine 5, maybe they can do something with Train Sim World, where perhaps it moves on to Unreal Engine 5, one game with no more yearly updates, and it just stops there. I mean, it's a dream, right? One can dream. In an ideal world, that would be the case, but realistically, what's probably going to happen is TSW 7 will come out again, same time as all the other TSWs, and it will be on Unreal Engine 4.26, and it will just be the same old song. You're okay. I love white. ASR, you forgot you said hello to me already? You've forgotten about me already, boss? Right, Nabil. Is there any more you're willing to add to that, or do you just wish to stay a moment and event in history and that's that? I can always dream, right? Okay, thanks for the motivation to do so. It might not end all, but you can regardless. That's it, man. That's the realness. Dream doesn't doesn't cement anything, but dream anyway. I don't think Nabil is very sad. Why is Nabil very sad? Nabil is being very honest right at this moment of time. Moment in time. English. I don't know why English escapes me on stream. He was very, very hyped for Metro Rivals. Nabil, what's your response to this statement, this accusation? I'll call it an accusation. UK to spend £570 million rejoining EU scheme allowing young people to study in Europe. Is the focus of rejoining the EU, like, is it specifically something to allow young people to study in Europe, or is that just one benefit of rejoining the EU, and they're looking to do it properly? It was a loading screen that had something. What did it just make you feel something? There's no way TSW Tycoon is still going. As in, like, there's no way it's being actively supported. They will rejoin the EU program. Erasmus Plus. Tell me you're joking. What is that? Okay, so they won't be actually joining back. They'll just be partaking in a scheme. I don't really know other Barrett coaches, what you're supposed to do with them. I have got no clue. In all honesty, Isle of Wight. I don't know what the purpose generally of a barrier coach is. Is it just to kind of put space between the power cars and the coaches? But like, there's not one on this service. So why would it sometimes be there and sometimes not? Erasmus is for students. Erasmus in Europe. I mean, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But it's not as good as fully rejoining the EU. Erasmus is so you go to university in another Erasmus country. Okay. Some cost a bit Erasmus. So, what benefit would there be though? Say like I wanted to go and study in Germany, if Germany is another Erasmus country. What benefit would I have compared to studying in a different country or just here in the UK? Pardon me. I think it's with power cars around the different stock and ages of like a couple of it's compatible with some trains. But it doesn't really do anything though. Like, it's just like it's a coach. Just like it's like blocked off, I think. It's used in the scenarios, but you don't like specifically do anything with it. It's just part of your formation. Sometimes, not in all of them. For example, it featured in like there was an emergency rescue scenario. It featured there. It was part of the train that you took to go and rescue the broken down train. But it doesn't really do anything. Like just the name barrier coach, it just sounds like it's like a barrier between the power car and the passenger coaches. Maybe because of noise, and maybe so that if you're in the front coach or the rear one, the noise doesn't, you're not like deafened by it. Okay, Fab, take care. Thank you very much for stopping by. Oh wait, is this a hello? Is this a greeting or is this a goodbye? I'm confused. The good seeing you, pal, threw me off. And also, I thought Ripoff said I'm off. Hi, if it's a hi. How are you? It's good to see you too. I feel like it's been a while. It has been a while, hasn't it? A BR Mark 1 barrier coach is a specialized piece of rolling stock used to separate a locomotive or a specific type of cargo from the rest of the train. Okay, cool. So yeah, so I was onto something, but for what purpose though? Okay, it separates the locomotive from the rest of the train. For what reason? Like noise would be a sensible assumption, right? Because of how loud the power cars are. So if you're traveling up front, you don't want to be so close to the engine. You saying you know how to fix the sound issues and electric. Some people will stone you for that, ASR. I don't even think that's an exaggeration. They act as a physical buffer for hazardous cargo. Sometimes a locomotive needs to pull a train with incompatible coupling systems. Ah, okay, that also makes sense. The hazardous cargo one is interesting because my mind goes to the Cargo Line Volume 5, the nuclear one, the DLC. They didn't have any buffer cars, barrier cars there. And you're only driving some measly class 20s. I say measly. They got enough power, but they're quite, you know, quite small. It's quite funny to think that right behind them is a load of nuclear waste. I do like the lights and the gauges. They're not as... they don't seem as like homey, or even dare I say as realistic as the ones on the CD 750 on the Czech route. But they're nice. There's I don't know, there's a warmth about them. Am I playing Simro next week? I don't know, man. I literally about 30 seconds ago was just thinking about the schedule next week. Just a random thought. And I was thinking, you know what, by any means necessary, I'm going back on LMU. So I'm going to try and do 3 days on LMU next week. And then the other 2 days, as of yet, are unknown. It's possible that there just won't be any TSW. Because you got the ETS2 open beta. That's got the Benelux rework. And I still haven't properly played the Aculock DLC for Subway Sim 2. Still haven't played the new U-Bahn release for Train Sim Classic. There's stuff that I need to get through. So we'll see how we get through it all. I don't think we'll see Simro next week, I'll be honest. Simro's also one that I want to play more. I did think about that earlier. Simro's one I want to play more. But there are others I'd like to get through. Don't think about the next step, but rather than focus on the present. No, sir. You got to plan ahead, boss. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. Who am I banning? Who am I barning? Yeah, what Nabil said. We're arriving a little bit late, but I don't think that's really my fault. Subway Sim 2 for the Aculock DLC. Wait, is that not the latest one, Nabil? Whatever's the latest thing for that is what I want to play. The U1 and U3 was the one I already played, right? Before. Oh no, JWD is Berlin. JWD is Berlin. But it was U-Bahn that had something new for it since the last time I played it, right? Yeah, I know. The trailer for that looks cool. It seems like I don't know. I don't think it would be anything I would get hooked on, but it looks nice to give it a go, and I don't know. Maybe I'll fall in love with it from there. Oh, U3 is a new line. Okay. Basically, the old Mark 1 guards vans from the BR days, when they were reused, they reinforced everything in case of a crash. Okay, sweet. That's actually quite cool info. Bit of HST trivia. I mean, I guess if I want to see these run, I can just take myself to Nigeria or Mexico. I think the one in Nigeria crashed. We need remote support. Have you managed to sort it for yourself? I say I guess you have. But you've uploaded pictures of it. You've uploaded pictures of it before. Unless I'm making that whole thing up in my head. The nickname is translators because of the flexibility of the couplers. I guess it depends on its use case, right? I guess if it was used because of the coupler situation, then you'd call it a translator. If you're just using it as a barrier coach, then you would just call it a barrier. Okay, yeah, no, but it has to be that, man. There's no way that I'm good, bro. Bro, imagine if they monitored everybody. Like there was somebody dedicated to check in if everyone's regularly uploading stuff. Oh my god. Like there's an easy way around it. You just find any random thing and upload it. But, oh, that would be sick. That would actually be sick. Although, with how they are anyway, that's not far off. They're pretty much there anyway. That's a good question. I mean, realistically, I don't think it would ever get to that point because of how like strict they are in terms of joining. But I guess they would just expect people to upload anything just to like show that they're willing to, you know, be a part of that community. Funny enough, the APT they just in Australia said, oh yeah, I forgot there's one in Australia. I say there's one. I don't know how many they have there, but the HST does run there as well. It's not going around in their old livery, the kind livery. Oh, that's sad, man. I can imagine they'll be knocking around Mexico and Nigeria for another like 20 odd years, probably. But anywhere where they've been running already, yeah, calling it a day. They'll upload something after a few months, mostly. Yeah, but the other one has that issue as well, though. Like before I got the torrent, remember how I was saying, like, bro, everything is like everything is dead. All the links are dead. XPT, is that what it's called? Oh yeah, APT is the tilt-in one, isn't it? The tilt-in train that made everyone sick. That was the APT. I do wonder though, do those links go down because, I don't know, they just expire after a while? Or does somebody find it and say, uh-oh, I'm going to report this? And then it gets closed because of that. I do wonder. With APT and ATP. What's APT is the train. The tilt-in one that we had in the UK. What's an example of automated train protection? Advanced, eh? Hey, advanced nowhere. ATP is like ATO except trainers drive itself. What do you mean ATP is like ATO except the train doesn't drive itself? As in, yeah, like what? Like what? Like how does it differ from a normal, quote unquote, train? I guess where it gets removed by the site itself, then the bill is just down to the site host not having much storage, which would make sense. And yeah, if nobody's downloading it, it doesn't need to exist. Although some may argue about that, which is understandable. I guess you can never run out of ideas, Isle of Wight. Something comes to mind, you put it forward, everyone's like, yeah, sounds good. I can get behind that. And then it just becomes official. ATP would be like LZB without AFB, for example. Okay. I think I get you. Makes sense. ATP and A2 are normally just talking about subways. Oh, talking about subways. I had a subway today. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Tried the new shawarma chicken. I could see what they tried to do. I could see what they were thinking. It was nice anyway. Would I say it was a shawarma chicken? Probably not. But I could see what they were trying to do. And it just had me thinking, man, I need to have this more often. 80 was a class 100 has some tube trains. Yeah. Jubilee has it. Central Line has it. The S-Stocks have it somewhere. Northern Line has it. Piccadilly Line will have it. I think that's it. DLR, obviously. Wave mod not enabled. The wave mod causes the waves when the weather's right for it. So when there's a lot of wind and it's raining. I think even without the rain, as long as it's very windy, then you'll get the waves. But I don't know if it clashes with one of the enhancement packs that I also have for this route. What do you mean your mother has it? Are you trying to cuss my mother? My mother does not play TSW. Ian, I'm not sure how much you're going to be able to see, mate. I can show you the train. How much you can see of it, though, is a whole different matter. Here's the train. Now, see, I can only see headlights. So, here we go. Here's the livery. We used to have a tube train, SWR livery. Still looks weird. I think SWR livery is quite nice. In all honesty, like if you're just gonna have a couple of colors, there are definitely worse combinations that you can have. On the one that I checked earlier for the buses, Nabil. Ian, my next run is going to be during the day. So we're 8.5 miles away from Exeter. Feel free to wait the 6 minutes or so until we get there. And you know what? You can choose the next delivery that we play around with. If you're still around. Hey, that's big. That's big, man. Hopefully. Is it scheduled in for next month? Have you got a date? Oh, bro. I'll be happy to jump back on Fortnite, man. And race on Motorfest without you glitching through everyone and smashing into me and then disappearing away. That would be really great. Running gang for the Isle of Wight gets all the underground stock. TFO doesn't want. Yeah, basically, you guys get TFL's hand-me-downs, more or less. Goes back years before the standard stock. We've even had London countries over on Steam Day. Wow, interesting. It's an interesting little connection there, a little relationship. It's cool that it's gone on for as long as it has. Like ultimately, like it would be cool to have your own stuff, but realistically, this is a great idea just to take stock that's been handed down for free. I would imagine that still works completely fine, still does the job. All you got to worry about is maintenance. That's not too bad. Apparently end of this month, but it'll probably take some time in between for other things to sort out and get the device, etc. Yes. If you have any, look around at your providers, because like there are some here where you can have a gigabit download and then 10 megabytes upload. And then there are others that will give you the same each way, a gigabit. So if those exist, you might as well find them and, you know, try and take advantage of them if it's within budget. Because the funny thing about those ones here are they are the ones that are cheaper for some reason. It's really strange. I'm booked on HST in City Road in a few weeks. Nice one, Ian. Ian, how did you find out about it? Because I have an issue, and I've had this issue for many years, where I don't know how to find interesting railway like activities or events. How did you know it was like happening for you to book it? Because I do want to like experience some of these rail tours, but I just have no idea where to find them, like in advance. Then when they got old, you got coaches on LSBC and LSW. That's old school. Wow, that's like legit old school. But hey, like I said, man, if it works, it works, isn't it? Like there's no like for the company, there's no stress about purchasing and like a depth of contracts and everything. Just got to worry about maintenance. That's it. And stuff is usually well looked after, so maintenance isn't a huge concern. Oh yeah, Nabil, bro. Well, that, and also I assume no lag in like online games. It's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good. It's one of the best transitions, going from slow internet to fast one. It's on par in my opinion, with going from like a trash, really, 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 really trash PC, or even like a laptop, to a high-end gaming PC. I think I would say they're on the same wavelength. Old enough to remember the Class 483. The dinosaur livery. I've got no clue. No clue. If you're on the Discord, you might have to put up a pic of that dinosaur livery. Sounds cool. To be fair, sounds very cool. Gonna try and not get tripped up by TPWS. We're approaching at a good speed. Safe speed. Gonna do it right now, Isle of Wight. Class 483. Dinosaur. Oh, it's very cool. It's very cool. I like it. Man, it's got that like... It's got that color palette. That like lively color palette from like the 2000s. That, I don't know, you look at it and it just brings you joy. I can't really explain it any better than that. Like back in the days when there was life and stuff was fun. That would have been cool to have in game. I'm sure someone would have created it in the Creators Club. I'm sure of it. I just hope they recreated it well. Right, Ian. If you're still around, talk to me. What livery do you want to see? I guess we got some light in now, so you can see this one. There you go. I didn't realize there's like bugs at the front. They got rid of it in 2007, 2008. It's there in Creators Club. Nice. See, I knew it was a 2000s. It was a 2000s thing. Whoa, get on the brakes. How is it, Nabil? Honestly, I think I would have been happy paying for it at full price. It is for a very particular type of person. It's not for everyone. If the HSTs are your thing, or you're into like railway history or events, I think this will be an important one to have in your collection because it recreates real life events, pretty well. Deliveries seem to be done to quite a high quality. The scenarios themselves are quite good. I was quite disappointed in one of them though. There are some bugs. There's a TPWS bug, so I've experienced 3 times in my playing with this train. getting tripped by TPWS, and then it also reacts differently every time. Like, it doesn't react like it normally does, which is weird. There's also the very, very, very old school bug where if you leave the safety systems on one side of the train and then you go to the other side to drive from there, the safety systems that you left behind will trip you up. That was extremely disappointing. Very, very, very disappointing. Swallow livery, that's a good shout, Ian. Actually a good shout, mate. Gladly. Gladly. Right, let's do a busy one. Okay, 7:22. I've got 48 minutes. 38 minutes. I know usually they're 30 minutes. Top's got 32 minutes there. 41. $36. I'm going to do this one. 36. Spare a few minutes for setup. They painted them London Transport red with yellow ends. Oh, so that was what they retired on, right? Shame the carriages aren't matching. Yeah. That would have been very cool. I can't imagine that being too much extra work, you know. If I don't know what steam engine that has, Class 02. Class 02 tank engine. I can't imagine it being an easy feat, having a steam engine on the Isle of Wight. Ooh, I do like this, you know. I feel like this is done really well. I don't know how well it's gonna come off on stream. Try and get as close as I can. But it's like they've just got the real thing and just put it in the game. It's just done really, really, really well. I don't know how the hell they've modeled it like that. I'm really impressed. Fairly busy, Reading. $166 flying in, Jesus. Right, let me search up the Class 02. Oh yeah, it's a quaint little thing, isn't it? It's got like a little dildo thing on the top of it. What was the purpose of that of the little nipple? It retired in London Transport red. Red tank engine and Southern Green Victorian compartment carriages to outdate the 1960s compared to the mainland. But then, hasn't that always been like the charm of Isle of Wight though? It's a bit like classic-y, quaint. Well, how would you describe it, ASR? Without the matching carriages, those feel a bit half-hearted. I can't imagine it have taken long, Ian, in all honesty, mate, to do that. I don't know if this needed to be out by like a particular time or date. But then, it serves a particular purpose though, doesn't it? It serves a particular purpose. It's like it's not meant to bring about an 80s timetable onto the routes, you know? The whole point of the pack is to, I mean, it's called the HST farewell pack, is to honor the trains and sort of, you know, celebrate the seeing off of them. That sounded really good as it went past. I think that's a sound mod I've got for the HST. You really has the little turbo squirrel. So yeah, it's not like it's an 80s timetable. If it was an 80s timetable, then I think without a doubt there would be no excuse for it to be missing the coaches, the matching coaches. But considering its purpose is to just celebrate the HSTs, I don't know, maybe I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit here. But I can see why it's just the loco, the power cars themselves. The dome by the chimney, yeah. Yeah, I think it looks like a nipple. Nabil, I have, but I've completely forgotten everything about it. I need to look at it again and make a decision there. Preferably, ideally, money being no object, I would have everything aligned, so like everything Moser. Moser wheel, Moser base, Moser pedals, Moser shifter, Moser handbrake. I actually would like to go back to playing rally games. But I think it, from what, like, I remember it being pretty decent, right? Like it was up there for shifters. I'd consider it. I'd consider it. I have no idea how much it costs though. Has the price been announced? Like, is it out already? The old Virgin Trains HST is my favorite back in the early 2000s. Virgin Trains HST. Okay, let me look this up because I don't think I've seen a picture of that. Oh, yeah. This was brought to my attention actually a few months back. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I really didn't like it when I first saw it, but looking at this picture, it actually looks really bloody nice. It looks really, really nice. Okay, I really didn't like that. I think it was the black. I didn't like the black paint on it. But in a set, it looks really good. Looks really good. But this one's pretty cool as well. I think this is taken from Train Sim Classic, or maybe Train Sim World. But I'm assuming this was like a real life thing, a real life livery. It's basically like a modern Voyager livery, but on a HST. I don't know if that was ever done in real life, but it looks good. But yeah, no, I like it. I like the proper one, the black, the one with the black on it. Yeah, I remember seeing it for the first time and being really against it. Like I really didn't like it. Like it wasn't just I prefer the Virgin Trains one. No, like I just straight up really disliked it. But looking at it now, it's quite gorgeous, dare I say. Watching a Class 47 documentary is what that's the Virgin Entity. Fun fact: those tank engines could top and tail. Push pull. I think you would need to. I don't know how much power do they like. How much could they do on their own? they look like, I don't know. They might have needed to be in a push pull configuration. Although it's not like they were hauling massive cargo loads. So I don't know. Maybe they would have been okay on their own. So how long did they last? When did they get replaced by the... Was it not 19... Was it the 1938 stock? Or what was it that replaced them? The Flying Banana was down the North Wales coast today. The Flying Banana. I'm going to assume by the name that it's the Network Rail HST, the all yellow one. What a very cool thing to spot. If you do get to see that, Let's look at the. Let's have a little outside view. I mean, the whole point of this pack is the liveries, right? Okay, you can hear the safety systems from outside. That's very good to know. It is. That's so cool that it was like that close. Like within reach, basically, for you. Man, listen. Like, we definitely have had cool things in and out of London, yeah? But it's like, if you know, you know, right? As somebody who just doesn't know, and just who happens to see things when I see things, I saw a class, I think it was a 37, I think, about last month, on my way to work, for like a second. Like, I just saw, I was on a bus driving over a railway bridge, and a bridge over the railway, and it, just as the bus was like going out of view of the railway, I caught a glimpse of the front of a 37. And then I did one trip to Portsmouth, to Southampton, sorry, I did one trip to Southampton, where I saw, on the way there, a Class 08 for the first time. This was 3 years ago, I think. 3 years ago or so. Saw a Class 08 for the first time. Saw a class, I don't know if it was a 45 or a 37. Most likely it would have been a 37 for the first time. I've never seen even something like a Class 90 that apparently is so in and out of London. I've never seen a Class 90 before. All I see are underground trains, Elizabeth Line, Greater Anglia trains, overgrounds. Just your like generic inner London stuff. I've seen some diesels when I went to Birmingham 5 or so years ago. I think they would have been 1.5 something trains. I saw for the first time last Friday a Voyager and 166 for the first time ever, but that was because I was in Reading. So I really haven't seen much. Like, the rarest thing that I've seen is the engineering train on the underground. That's very rare, but I work on the underground, so 9 times out of 10, if the station's closed because the line's got engineering works, that train will pass through our station and then I'll see it. In 1965, they were replaced by the 485 and 486 standard stock last steam as a result of the service. 1965, okay. I thought it would have been more recent, you know. Might have been Christmas Day, but I might be wrong with that, thereabouts. That would have been cool. There's a 37 across North Wales quite a lot at the minute. I want a TFW flirt train from Cardiff. Oh, nice. So you could get to see them quite often. But then they operate normally in like, as a Londoner, everything above London is the north, but up north, I believe they operate quite regularly. Like they're just like the normal train. Let me get a video. This is what I saw. This is like an interesting thing that I saw. It would have been in October. Let me get the video up. Thankfully, I don't take many pictures and videos. This is what I saw in October. I don't know what it is, in all honesty. Now, what the hell is that? What on earth is that? This was at Ashford Station. Very interesting formation. I had to get it on film. Whoa. I don't think there's any plans for the Bakerloo line to get new trains. Isle of Wight. It's only the Piccadilly line right now. Only thing happening with the Bakerloo line was talks of an extension, and that was from 2016 or 2015-16. I had someone who was sort of like an insider at the time. So it became like public information a few years later, but they've been talking about it from about then. That's the only thing I know to be a possibility for the Bakerloo line. But in terms of new trains, it's the Piccadilly line that's getting them. And I've had the privilege of being on one, being in the cab of one of the new trains. It came by my station for testing. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't going to miss the opportunity, you know. Lovely engineer driving it, who was just so knowledgeable on the train, so knowledgeable on like its workings, which may sound like something obvious, but you'd be surprised, man. A lot of train drivers just drive for the job, you know. They're not really too concerned about the peculiarities of the train that they're driving. I heard the 1972 stock had been deleted from Bakerloo at that time. I don't know who you've heard it from, Isle of Wight. As far as I know, mate, there are no plans for that. As a matter of fact, people are rather confused at why the Piccadilly line train, which has got trains from the 1970s. I think it's a 1973. I could be wrong. I think it's a 1973 stock. Why that's getting new trains, but the Bakerloo line isn't. And I completely understand that. I completely understand. Bakerloo line trains are an absolute shambles. Why do different lines have different trains? It could be because of like historic, something to do with like history. I don't actually quite know that myself. In all honesty, I'd rather it be how it is now with different trains than, like, imagine if the whole underground network was just the exact same train. I think it depends on a few things, man. Like size of the train, for example, like the S-stop trains that you've got on the District line now, and Metropolitan line, and the Hammersmith and City line, and the Circle line. They're quite big trains. I don't think you could have them everywhere that the Piccadilly line train goes, for example, the Bakerloo line or the Central line. So it could be a matter of size of the tunnels. Could be a matter of capacity. Like, is like a bigger, newer train needed? But I do think a lot of it probably goes down to history. Things were a little bit different back then. Sit in a train, let the train do its thing, meanwhile you can sit there and have a cup of tea and biscuits. Oh yeah, listen, mate. That is a job of a lot of train drivers. It's just to open and close doors. Like, I've seen it myself. I've been in the cab of a Northern Line train while it was in operation, and yeah, train driver we were just having a chat. I mean, I opened the doors and closed them at one point, and he just chills. But because of that, or I guess partially because of that, they really, really struggle with tiredness. I've spoken to a lot of drivers. It's a big problem. Normally in subways, you don't normally change stops between lines of the pace of like the different stops has to be changed completely. I don't think it's that wouldn't be the limitation though. I think that would be a rather like minor limitation if they did want to bring in the same train for every line. I like it this way. Do you plan on becoming a TFL driver? Well, I may or may not have an assessment for that at some point in the future. You're a passenger in your own train as the train moves up, they have some manually drive. Well, to keep, so for train drivers that drive the automatically operated trains, to keep their license active or refreshed or whatever, they have to drive manually every so often. I don't remember the exact time frame, but you do have to drive manually every now and again, just to keep their license in check. But yeah, for the most part, kick back and let the train do its thing. I'm assuming in depots as well, they'll drive manually. Right, let's try and pay attention to the signals this time. I don't know if that was a double yellow or a single. Okay, we're still getting doubles, that's fine. I'm going to slow all the way down to 50 probably though. Or you know what, let's just go on initial braking and just see how things go. When they request new subway trains, normally different was a new line, so you can kind of stuff be different on different needs. Yeah. So I think that's one of the main ones. That particular point. I think all the lines are looking to get bigger trains when the district, circle, Hammersmith and City, and Metropolitan all use the same, roughly the same train. There are some minor differences with the Metropolitan line ones, but more or less they're the same. They've become way bigger than the previous ones, air conditioned, and I'm assuming more equipment behind the scenes. The Piccadilly line, the trains there are getting air conditioning. They're bigger, more capacity. More capacity is the main thing. London is just getting more and more packed, so more capacity is usually the focus. All right, Ian, appreciate you, mate. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, mate. Take care of yourself. Feel free to join our Discord. If you just type in !Discord in the chat, then you can find the schedule for the streams, and a bunch of other stuff there as well. Imagine Waterloo and City Line having some trains with like 8 coaches, standing room and such. How many coaches do they have? It's not far from 8. I think it's like 6. I think they have 6 coaches. But they come around so often, it's never a problem. Like not having them be bigger or longer than they are. I think there's like 4 trains or 5 rotating. I think turnaround time is like 5 minutes. No, maybe like. The train driver can comfortably walk. Actually, no, tell a lie. What they do at Waterloo, train will come in. There'll be a train driver waiting that will take the train, and then the driver of that train will wait for the next train, so that he can get in straight away. And the driver of that train waits for the next one, if that makes sense. And they keep rotating it like that. Bakerloo line 120 km/h VMAX. Well, I mean, 120 km/h is what? 60 miles an hour. How fast does it go? How fast does it go when it's above ground? Is it 50, 40 or 50 or something? You're not far off. I know it's a joke, but you're actually not far off. (120 km/h, 75 miles per hour). Oh, sorry, I'm thinking about 100 km/h. Yeah. Okay, no, definitely not 120. Closer to 100. Who watched the preview stream for this? And what did you think of it? Out of curiosity. Today my microwave decided to smoke out of existence. Oh no, bro, throw that thing away. I do not joke around when it comes to microwaves, man. I'm very worried about my current one because the top of it, you never really look at the top of your microwave. I looked at the top of it and it was very scary. Very scary. I don't know whether it was because of that particular situation that happened or something else, but it looks very scary inside. And the annoying thing is, we had like a modern, like a newer one, but gave it away. I don't use a microwave in a bill. Are you paranoid about the radiation? Your favorite era of privatization and livery? Mine would be the early 2000s. I remember the slam door. Maybe the numbers just looking on connects. You know what? I love white. There's three things you got to remember before I say anything. I'm 29, born in 96, lived in London my entire life. So privatization was never something I was around or witnessed or really kind of like looked into or researched. Believe it or not, my first like passion is actually cars. I love cars. Trains, I've loved trains, but never like to a degree where I do like my research on them and I kind of like start looking into the history and stuff like that. So all I know about privatization is what I've learned from the forums, from chat, from the game itself, etc. What, with that being said, sort of like I loved the most was this right here. The old D-stock trains that used to run on the district line. I love the sound, I love the smell, I love the ride. Like if there was one thing I could have in the game, if I could request it, would be a mid-2000s district line route. It would have to be done well, not gonna lie. It would have to be done well. But this is very close, because even the interior, Liam's redid the interior. So it's got the green that the district line had, and some other little touches, which are really, really nice. Really, really nice. And it made me really happy getting into it for the first time. But in terms of like national rail stuff, zero clue. Zero clue. All I was around was the London Underground. That was all I knew was the tube. So, yeah. It's fairly... What I know, what I liked was very, 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 very limited in that regard. Because like even like if I lived like outside of London, like I don't know, somewhere up north, I guess even being born in 96, I would have still seen a lot and been able to, you know, smell and hear and feel and, you know, all of that stuff. I think probably more so than my age was just the living in London my whole life being the like incredibly limiting factor when it comes to me and trains. No need, Nabil? I mean, yeah, there's no need, but it's convenient. Class 47 Dustin and Virgin Brand in doing services held all the first grade of under impacts on Valencia engines. See, I know nothing about that, and there's no one in my family that's like into trade, so there's no one to like kind of put me on or I don't know, show me things or teach me or whatever. So it was just if I happened to be interested in trains and really like willing to look into it, then I would have gone down that route. But yeah, we also like never traveled as well. Any traveling we did was within London, so anything that's not a London Underground train I had zero experience with until my late teens when I started riding on Southern 377s. And those are very basic compared to what you're talking about. Those are very, very, very basic. But to kind of like put it into perspective, that's like my experience with like trains. I'm not a train sniffer ASR, no. Are you? D-Stock and S-Stock goes to the... absolutely, man. Listen, bro, well, I need World of Subways 3. I need to try and find it on like a pirate site or something because you can't get it on Steam anymore. I need World of Subways 3. I had it a while ago and I deleted it.
Will passengers intending to travel on this service please join the train now, as it is ready to leave. Platform 3 for the 10:24 Great Western Railway service to Hereford, which is ready to leave.
Move out of London then. Well, no, my friend. I mean, we're talking growing up, like history. I can move in London and see a lot more, but I can also just go out and travel now, you know. Oh, whoops.
This is a security announcement, reminding passengers to keep a watchful eye on their luggage.
Okay, the doors just don't want to lock.
Unattended luggage.
That's interesting.
Necessary security alerts. The left luggage office is located